Hello, Alex from Scale Swimming. How are you today?
Hello, Marcus. I'm all good. How are you
Good.
keeping?
I'm good. I'm good. We have gathered again for another Let's Talk Swimming episode where we talk about swimming, freestyle, other swimming aspects. And today we talk about kicks. I know we have touched the topic several times before in other videos already, but I think it is a very important topic. And if you can't say it often enough, and that's why I would touch base on that again. So kicks. So my philosophy is that everything starts from the kick. So if you have a good kick and if you train it well, then obviously you will be successful in learning the other things. So this is my ground thesis. Obviously, yes, you don't need it for running and you don't need the kicks for cycling. You need your legs for this in triathlon. But and necessarily you want to have a 2B kick, like out of from zero to something. But what use there? How do you see the kicks in the swimming, or especially in freestyle swimming?
Yes, totally same as you. Everything starts at the kick. Like you've got to have the right body alignment. You've got to be able to propel yourself forward through the water. And if you're just not even thinking about using your legs, or you don't even train your leg kick, you're going to be basically dragging a weight through the water, and you're all going to be just shoulder heavy, top heavy. You could probably injure your shoulders from over using your shoulders if you're literally just dragging your legs through the water. And through this call, we can talk about the different disciplines, whether you're a swimmer, whether you're an open water swimmer, whether you're a triathlete. There are lots of different ways and approaches that you should go about in trying to improve your leg kick, because as both you and I agree, it's the fundamental part of your stroke.
Exactly. I mean, yes. Let's do that. The one thing which I also want to emphasize for a lot of people, which is actually also a kind of myth or a misconception of it. I don't teach kicks because necessarily you need to do the kicks afterwards. It's more for the training purposes to be stable and flat in the water. And one thing which kicks, and that's where it all starts. And one thing which kicks usually create is a good core and all the good core muscles. Be it in freestyle, be it in backstroke, be it in breaststroke or butterfly, it doesn't matter where. Kicks usually create a good core. The core helps you to keep yourself afloat and very flat in the water. With the kicks, then you can train your arms, and obviously you get further. So it's a means to success, the kicks in that sense. And this is how I teach it. It's not necessarily needs to be the kicks generates the whole propulsion going forward. It is more a means to it. So this is a misconception which I see a lot, and which I also see now on my Instagram accounts and questions I get there, or YouTube or whatever. I think that is just what I see at the moment.
Yeah, agree. Like a lot of triathletes, for example, would then have that kind of belief of, well, in a race when I'm competing, I'm going to need to be saving my legs so then I can have a good cycle discipline and then have a really good run at the end. Why do I need to train my legs? But it's exactly what you've just said there. If you can use the leg kick in training, and you can train with that good body position, good body alignment, you're going to be more natural through the water. You're going to be more hydrodynamic, streamlined through the water. So if in a race, when it comes to a race, you can implement eventually, when you know how to kick properly, a 2-beat leg kick, which is what you'll go into later.
Yeah.
But when you're kicking with that 2-beat leg kick, saving your legs, saving that energy, you're going to have the right body position.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess this is for the ground. This is the ground concept of the kicks as such, and obviously, how is it done? It's a hip starting whip movement through the legs. It's not like kick. It's like doing a free kick in football, because it also starts with the hips, that you move it back and then swing it through, but it's more like a whip instead of it's different to cycling, where you just need the movement out of your knees. Here it is out of the hips, and the rest is just like a hip move, like a whip movement in the end. Just so conception is, why do we do the kicks, and for what is it good for, and then obviously how the kick looks like. Obviously there you have a lot of examples also online. Maybe we need to do a technical video about that at some point too. And then you have the three kicks which are very common and commonly spoken about. This is 2B kick, 4B kick, and 6B kick. And so what is this? I mean, I start with the 2B kick. Obviously, the 2B kick is 2 kicks per stroke cycle, and the stroke cycle is right arm and left arm doing a full stroke. This is a stroke cycle. 4B kick will be 2 kicks and 4 kicks per stroke cycle, and 6B kick will be 6 kicks per stroke cycle, obviously. And now, obviously, when we talk about kicks to learn how to train, we talk about 6B kick or more, or like something like that. I don't know. So these are the three kicks we talk about. Now, which one to use? Can I go from 0 to 2B kick? What do you say?
Well, I would say no to start with, because as you've just said there, kick is a fundamental part of swimming. So you're going to have to get a lot of things right before you can then reduce your kick. If you start off attempting a 2B kick, you're probably going to, we've talked about it before, snake through the water. You're going to be battling yourself through the water because your body will likely not be in the correct, or have the correct alignment. So to start with, quite often when I'm talking to master swimmers or triathletes that are just getting into swimming, I won't even talk to them maybe about how many beats per kick. I'm just trying to get them to kick. And you've already spoken about this earlier. You talked about it all starts in the hip, and then you talked about like a whip effect with the leg kick. So I'm just going to jump on the back of that and finish that off. The other thing that a lot of people struggle with is having a lack of ankle flexibility. So they'll start with the whip, or they'll try the whip, but their kick, and we've done a little video on that. You might want to go and check it out.
True.
But the kick is like this. So they're literally dragging their legs and their feet as an anchor through the water. And that whip is not happening. So that whip that you talked about that starts at the hips needs to go all the way through the legs, throughout the toes. That's then going to give you the power and the propulsion.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Fully agree. I mean, yeah, they call it flex and whatsoever. And if you haven't seen it, go to another video which we did together, or the shorts which we did together about the exactly this phenomenon. Yes, so I agree with you, and I think it's a good add-on to what I said. So no, you're right. We can't go from like starting from 0 to a 2B kick. And if, like, when a lot of people look at my videos on YouTube and Instagram, they say, oh, you have such a nice 2B kick, I want to try. Yes, but I have a very good kick. I have a very good 6B kick, or like I started off very well. I can swim very fast just kicking. I can swim 120 just kicking on 100 meter in a short course pool, 25 meter pool. I can do that. So my kick is very good, and it starts all from the hip and everything like that. And that's why I have to balance the core muscles to actually then come into that moment where I just like use the kicks for the balance. And that's the 2B kick, where I just like tip from one side to the other. It's like walking in the end. But it started all with the kick on the 6B kick side, and I moved down from it. And because you also with the muscle memory and whatever you do in your training and whatever, you have time some sort of to think. So your kick is that good that you have time to adjust your kicking to what you do. And I guess that is my experience of it. That's why I think it's the most efficient for me to swim in the end.
Yeah, it's like the old adage of there's hardly ever any overnight success. Or like you look at the tip of an iceberg and then you see underneath how big that iceberg is. And that bit under the water is that hard work, is the years of practice of getting your kick right, developing your core, developing your kick technique, developing your kick strength, developing your swimming, your arm strokes, and your rotation along your central axis, getting your distance per stroke, all with your leg kick. All of that takes years. You can't just say, I love how Marcus's swimming looks. It looks efficient, it looks easy, and he just glides masterfully through the water. I want to give it a go. It's going to take a lot of practice and time and effort and perseverance.
Agreed. I think this is actually a good conclusion to actually this call, because it on the one hand explains certain things. What does it mean, the kick, in the end, for the whole technique? It builds up your core muscles. It gives you the balance in the water. It gives you the flatness in the water. The second thing, what is the 2B kick, the 4B kick, and the 6B kick? We went into that. And another thing is, what is the movement itself? It's a hip whip, a hip starting whip movement through the leg, from the hip to the toes, to the little toe, to the big toe. So we have touched this, and as you said, it takes practice. You need to grind. You need to do it over and over and over again. Yes, it is good to have an achievement like, oh, I want to swim like this, or like me, or like anyone who has mastered it, or to master it for themselves. But it takes practice. It takes practice over and over again. I think I don't know. I wouldn't go too much into that, and we can go more detailed if there are questions. But I think we have touched a very good topic on that. And as I said, if you have questions, put it down in the comments. Write us a DM on Instagram, on YouTube. We both are on Instagram, Scale Swimming, Marcus Marthaler. We are both on YouTube, Scale Swimming, Marcus Marthaler. So like, share, follow, everything. We love the love which is given to us, and tune in for our next episode. Thank you so much.